Power of a positive mindset. You will be put to the test in life. You will experience setbacks, hardships, and times when it seems like the odds are against you. The fact is, though, that your mindset, rather than the situation, determines whether you succeed or fail. A positive mindset is the driving force behind all outstanding accomplishments. It goes beyond optimism or thinking happy thoughts. How people choose to view the world makes the difference between those who overcome their obstacles and those who are demolished by them. No matter where you're coming from, this conference will show you the incredible power of a positive outlook and how it can dramatically change your life. The most potent tools we have are our minds. They impact our behavior, mold the environment around us, and eventually determine how our lives will unfold. Every action starts with a thought, and our reality is born from that seed. The type of life we lead is determined by our thoughts. For this reason, developing a positive outlook is crucial for success, contentment, and happiness, rather than merely being a nice to have. Think about this. Two people may encounter the same circumstance, yet depending on their mental approaches, they may experience very different results. Failure could be interpreted as the end and a cue to give up. The other views it as a learning and development opportunity and a stepping stone. This distinction in viewpoint is what distinguishes leaders, champions, and individuals who make a lasting impression. Everybody knows someone who overcame adversity, rose from lowly origins, and accomplished greatness. They weren't necessarily the luckiest, sharpest, or most gifted people. They just had faith in their mental strength. Consider Thomas Edison as an example. He made more than 1,000 unsuccessful attempts to create the light bulb. He famously said, "I have not failed," in response to a question about his feelings about repeatedly failing. That's the power of a positive mindset in action, finding opportunity even in the face of failure. I've just discovered 10,000 ways that won't work. However, the benefits of positive thinking extend beyond achieving professional or personal objectives. Our relationships, general feeling of purpose, and health are all impacted by having a positive outlook. Positive thinkers live longer, recover from disease more quickly, and endure less stress, according to scientific research. We will discuss the 7 essential powers of a positive mindset in this conference, illustrating how these ideas have transformed lives with examples from everyday life. By the end, you will have not only a better understanding of the power of positive thinking, but also the tools necessary to incorporate it into your own daily routine. Number 1, the resilience power. There is no avoiding the fact that life will strike you down, but how quickly and well you get back up depends on how strong your thinking is. Positivity is the key to gaining resilience, which is the capacity to overcome hardship. It's important to confront obstacles head-on, understanding that every setback presents a chance for improvement rather than avoiding them. The tale of Oprah Winfrey is a potent illustration of perseverance. She was abused as a child and had many personal struggles because she was born into poverty. She refused to let her situation, however, define who she was. Oprah chose to utilize her pain as a springboard rather than let it defeat her. She acquired a mentality that enabled her to endure unspeakable adversity and go on to become one of the most prosperous and significant individuals on the planet. A cheerful outlook does not minimize suffering or difficulties. Although it acknowledges them, it declines to be taken prisoner. When you have this mentality, every setback becomes a springboard for success, and every failure becomes a lesson. You start to view life as a sequence of obstacles meant to strengthen, fortify, and empower you. Self-belief is the foundation of a resilient mindset. It's the peaceful assurance that you have the fortitude and resourcefulness to go through anything life throws at you. Furthermore, resilience is about thriving in spite of hardship, not merely surviving it. Positive thinkers are less likely to experience chronic stress and heal from trauma more quickly, according to research. Therefore, keep this in mind the next time life presents you with a challenge. You have the ability to decide how you will react. And you can make every challenge into an opportunity if you have an optimistic outlook. Number 2, the strength of appreciation. One of the most powerful transformational forces in the world is gratitude. We change our perspective from what we lack to what we have when we develop an optimistic outlook based on thankfulness. By encouraging a sense of contentment and abundance, this alteration has the power to drastically alter our lives. For instance, Nick Vujicic. Nick could have easily given in to resentment or despair because he was born without arms or legs. Rather, he embraced an attitude of appreciation. Nick accepted what he could achieve instead of dwelling on his limitations. His optimistic outlook allowed him to create a happy life and inspire millions of people worldwide as a motivational speaker. Being grateful does not entail denying difficulties or acting as though everything in life is ideal. It's about finding the positive in the midst of the negative. People who consistently practice thankfulness report higher levels of pleasure and well-being, according to research. They tend to have better relationships, less stress, and greater success in both their personal and professional life. We create more opportunities for ourselves when we teach our thoughts to concentrate on our blessings. We start to attract good vibes and experiences. Being grateful enables us to notice opportunities that we might have missed when we were feeling down. It's a potent instrument that transforms our energy from one of scarcity to one of plenty and magnifies the positive aspects of our existence. Gratitude is a simple yet effective discipline. Spend some time every day thinking about your blessings. Put it in writing, say it aloud. You will become more aware of how much you have to be grateful for. Regardless of your situation, the more you practice thankfulness. This is the strength of an optimistic outlook based on thankfulness. Number 3, the strength of personal belief. Self-belief, or the steadfast conviction that you can accomplish your goals and objectives despite all obstacles, is one of the most powerful components of a positive mentality. The fuel that propels success is self-belief. It encourages you to take chances, venture beyond of your comfort zone, and keep going when others might give up. Consider the tale of J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter series creator. Rowling was a struggling single mother who lived on poverty and was repeatedly turned down by publishers prior to her fame. This would have been a tipping moment for many. However, Rowling has a great quality, self-belief in her work. She persisted in moving forward in spite of being rejected by 12 publishers. She eventually achieved success beyond her wildest expectations, thanks to that belief, selling over 500 million copies of her novels globally. This self-belief force is not about conceit or naive optimism. It's about realizing your value, having faith in your skills, and realizing that you have something worthwhile to contribute to society. By keeping you focused on what is achievable rather than letting fear or self-doubt immobilize you, a positive attitude supports this idea. Because they lack the self-confidence to take the required chances, many people never reach their full potential. They let failure, fear, or other people's opinions to control their decisions. However, people with a strong sense of self-belief and a positive outlook cut through the clutter. They understand that failure is just a part of the process and does not mean the end. Resilience is also produced by self-belief. Because you know deep down that you can accomplish your objective, you are more likely to stick with it when you believe in yourself. You acquire a can-do mentality that keeps you going when things get tough. 4, focus is power. Clarity and focus are brought about by having a positive outlook, which enables you to direct your energies toward the things that really count. Even the most hopeful attitude can result in disorganized efforts and lost chances if it lacks concentration. The ability to channel your positive thoughts and energies toward a certain objective while blocking out noise and distractions is the power of focus. Take the case of Michael Phelps, the all-time most decorated Olympian. His quest to become the greatest swimmer in history required mental concentration in addition to physical skill. Phelps developed his intellect just as much as his body from an early age. He blocked out distractions, envisioned every race, and concentrated on every stroke. His unwavering focus and optimistic outlook enabled him to overcome challenges like depression and ADHD and accomplish unmatched success. Setting goals is only one aspect of focus. Another is keeping your focus on them in the face of distractions, failures, or give-up temptations. A positive outlook helps you stay focused by reminding you of your initial motivation. When your goals and your ideas are in sync, you start to perceive possibilities where others see obstacles. Consider how powerful the sun is. Its rays offer warmth when dispersed across a large region. However, those same rays have the ability to ignite a fire when focused through a magnifying glass. The same holds true for your thoughts. You increase your chances of success when you direct your good energy on a certain objective. Focus is more important than ever in a society where distractions are everywhere. Distractions can quickly halt your work, whether they come from social media, incessant notifications, or outside demands. However, you may cut through the clutter and remain focused on what really matters if you have an optimistic and determined perspective. Number 5. Perseverance is power. Long-term success is based on perseverance, which is made possible by having an optimistic outlook. You build the perseverance required to keep going when things get difficult, when you adopt a mindset that accepts obstacles and failures as a necessary part of the trip. This ability makes the difference between short-term success and long-term success. Consider the tale of KFC founder Colonel Harlan Sanders. Most individuals would have given up at age 65 after his chicken recipe was rejected more than 1,000 times. Sanders stood out, though, because of his endurance and optimistic outlook. Rejection did not define him. Rather, he persisted in knocking on doors because he thought success was imminent. One of the biggest fast food chains in the world today is KFC. Being persistent means having the mentality to keep going forward with a purpose. Even when the journey is challenging, it is not about slogging through life without joy. It's about viewing every obstacle as a teaching moment and every failure as a learning opportunity. Even in the face of failure, you may preserve hope and optimism if you have a good outlook. Consider this: every successful entrepreneur, every groundbreaking concept, and every brilliant innovation has experienced failure. The main distinction is that they persisted. They realized that there would be challenges along the way to success, so they didn't give up when things got tough. Instead of being overcome by this reality, a positive outlook enables you to accept it. Even the most formidable obstacles can be conquered with persistence. Having a positive outlook guarantees that you will always get back up after falling. You get stronger, smarter, and one step closer to your objective each time you get back up. 6. Perspective's power. You may change your viewpoint and see the world from a place of opportunity and progress instead of fear and limitation. If you have a positive, the lens through which you view the events of life is your viewpoint. Even the most challenging circumstances can be viewed as chances for development and education when you adopt a positive. Consider Nelson Mandela, who was imprisoned in South Africa during the apartheid era for 27 years in the most appalling conditions. Mandela took a different stance, whereas many would have been overcome by rage or despair. He grew reflected and prepared for a future of leadership and reconciliation throughout his incarceration. Because of his optimistic outlook, he was able to leave prison not a broken man, but a symbol of progress and hope for his country. It all comes down to perspective. Two persons may encounter the identical circumstance. One may perceive a catastrophe, while the other may perceive an opportunity. When you develop a positive outlook, you start to perceive the world as something you can control and shape, rather than something that just occurs to you. You cease acting as the victim and begin to believe that you are in charge of your own fate. You can approach life with interest rather than fear if you have a good outlook. Rather than inquiring, "Why am I experiencing this?" you start to wonder, "What can I take away from this?" This mentality change is immensely empowering, since it gives you authority over your life's experiences, independent of outside factors. Number 7. Purpose has power. A feeling of purpose is closely linked to a happy outlook. Every day has meaning, and every activity is directed by a sense of direction when you live with purpose. Having a purpose provides you the fortitude to face challenges head-on, the bravery to go after your goals, and the drive to keep going. As an example, consider the case of Malala Yousafzai, a teenage campaigner who was shot by the Taliban for supporting education for females. Fear didn't stop Malala from speaking up. Instead, her sense of purpose made her an even more ardent supporter of her cause. She was able to overcome her circumstances and become a worldwide symbol of strength and resilience because of her optimistic outlook, which was based on a strong sense of purpose. Your internal compass is your purpose. Setbacks don't stop you when you have a clear goal. They just become a part of the process. Even in difficult times, having a positive outlook guarantees that your mission will always be at the center of your behavior. It helps you make decisions that are consistent with your values and ambitions by keeping you centered on what's really important. Every obstacle becomes a chance to accomplish your goal when you live with purpose. You start thinking about making an effect instead of just surviving. You are actively molding your life to fit your higher calling rather than merely surviving it. You have the strength to motivate others when you have a purpose. You become a beacon of light for everyone around you, inspiring them to discover and follow their own purpose when you live intentionally and positively. A purpose-driven, upbeat attitude has a cascading impact that changes not just your life, but the lives of everyone you come into contact with. It is evident that choice is the common thread connecting the 7 powers of a positive mindset: resilience, appreciation, self-belief, focus, perseverance, perspective, and purpose. You have the ability to decide how you think, react, and perceive the world each and every day. The fundamental idea that underpins the effectiveness of a positive outlook is that your life is defined by your response to events rather than by the events themselves. You encounter obstacles, doubts, and uncertainties at every turn in life. Certain days will come when you doubt your value, when failure seems to be your only friend, and when the world seems too heavy to bear. Optimistic outlook becomes your biggest ally during these times. It enables you to look past the current difficulty and embrace a larger vision, one in which failure is but a stepping stone. Setbacks are transitory, and you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. Consider the instances that we have discussed. One of the most powerful people in the world today is Oprah Winfrey, who emerged from the ashes of a difficult upbringing. Rowling, who persevered despite poverty and rejection to establish one of the most cherished book series ever. After spending over 30 years in jail, Nelson Mandela opted for reconciliation rather than retaliation. These people all had to overcome tremendous obstacles, yet their mentality was what made them unique. These aren't merely inspirational tales, they are actual instances of the transformative impact of an optimistic outlook. Talent, good fortune, or outside events weren't the common factor. It was the choice to stay optimistic, concentrate on the things they could control, and keep going when others may have given up. You have access to the same power. The mentality transition from victim to producer. The ability to go from a victim mentality to a creative mentality is one of the most significant changes that a positive outlook offers. A victim attitude is when you think that life just occurs to you, that you have no influence over your circumstances, and that forces outside of your control determine your fate. Because it keeps you caught in a vicious loop of fear and helplessness, this is a disempowering way to live. This story is reversed by an optimistic outlook. You start to perceive yourself as the producer of your reality, rather than as a passive participant in it. You understand that although you might not be able to control everything that occurs to you, you do have complete power over how you react, and your power is in that answer. Consider famed psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl. Frankl explains in his book Man's Search for Meaning how he was able to find freedom in his answer, even under the most horrifying circumstances of a concentration camp. Although he had no influence over the brutality and misery around him, he did have power over his thoughts. He discovered a sense of significance that enabled him to live when many others died by deciding to concentrate on his inner freedom and purpose. Frankel's tale serves as a reminder that the strength of an optimistic outlook is independent of outside factors. Your mentality is the key to finding power, serenity, and meaning in any situation, no matter how big or small. After discussing the amazing potential of a positive outlook, the next thing to consider is how to develop one in your own life. How do you start using it on a daily basis and go beyond simply comprehending its power? Here are 5 doable actions you may do to cultivate a happy outlook. 1. Develop self-awareness and mindfulness. Being conscious of your ideas is the first step towards having a positive outlook. Negative thoughts frequently infiltrate our minds without our knowledge, influencing our attitudes and behavior in ways we are unaware of. You can become more conscious of your thinking patterns by engaging in mindfulness practices, such as journaling, meditation, or just taking short breaks throughout the day to check in with yourself. Being conscious of your ideas allows you to begin reframing and confronting the negative ones. Be in the company of positive people. Your mindset is greatly influenced by the individuals you spend time with. It's simple to absorb negative energy if you're surrounded by it all the time. Instead, make the decision to surround yourself with positive, motivating, and growth-oriented individuals. Additionally, surround yourself with positive influences in other areas, such as the media you consume, the books you read, and the places you visit. Change your wording. Your mindset is shaped by the words you use, both when speaking to other people and when conversing with yourself. Take note of how frequently you use derogatory or restrictive language and try to change the way you say things. Try saying "I'm working on it" instead of "I can't." Try saying "I'm stuck" instead of "I'm figuring it out." Your language counts, and these little changes will eventually lead to a more optimistic mindset. Pay attention to solutions, not issues. It's simple to become engrossed in the challenge itself when confronted with one. However, having a positive outlook motivates you to turn your attention to potential solutions. What can I do to move forward? Ask yourself. Instead, then focusing on what went wrong. This proactive approach helps you build resilience and problem-solving abilities, in addition to increasing your confidence. 5. Every day, cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most effective strategies for developing a positive outlook, as we covered in number 3. You may teach your brain to concentrate on the good things in your life by setting aside some time each day to think about your blessings. This is choosing to recognize the positive even in the face of adversity, not denying difficulties or acting as though everything is flawless. This exercise will gradually change your viewpoint and assist you in keeping a cheerful attitude, no matter what life throws at you. The fact that a cheerful outlook not only improves your life, but also the lives of people around you is one of its most lovely features. When you lead a positive, resilient, and purposeful life, you encourage others to follow suit. You turn into a lighthouse in a sometimes dark world. Consider the mentors, leaders, or family members who have influenced your life the most. Most likely, they were optimistic. Your current self was probably greatly influenced by their faith in you, their capacity to see possibilities where others saw barriers, and their unrelenting optimism. You may be that person for other people. If every one of us deliberately worked to foster and disseminate positivity, just think of the impact. What changes might we see in our families, workplaces, and communities? Positivity spreads easily, and by choosing to live a positive life, you're supporting a greater movement of change and development. The power of a positive outlook is a lifelong journey rather than a single realization. On certain days, negativity will try to infiltrate your life. Situations will test your optimism, and it may seem impossible to keep a cheerful attitude. But keep in mind that perfection is not the goal. It involves continuously making the decision to see the bright side, have faith in your abilities, and keep going forward, one step at a time. Apply the knowledge you have gained from this conference to your own life as you proceed. Begin modestly. Be thankful. Turn your attention to solutions. Be in the company of positive people. Above all, have faith that your own thoughts have the ability to influence your reality. Your biggest strength is your thinking. There is no limit to what you can accomplish if you use it properly.